been taken advantage of. We had a baby, okay. We had a young lady that I was reading about recently that the lady herself was a product of IVF, and then some of the eggs that were the embryos that were preserved at the time she was transferred was now what was used to transfer to her, and she delivered the baby. She delivered a baby that should have been her own age mate. So these things are being taken advantage of all over the world. So it's something that can be done. So another person is asking, what is the I'm sure success rate that I can get if I come for an IVF operation? Okay, so the success rate of IVF worldwide is the same. It's at about 30 to 40%. What it means is that for every IVF, if 10 people embark on IVF, at least 4 of them will get pregnant. Now, you will know that the factors that bring about success is individualistic. So it is your own factors that determines whether you are successful or not. Some come and they are 50 or they are 60. And then some of them have very poor eggs. So some of the things are the quality of the embryo that is being transferred, okay, the uterine factors, how your womb is, also age factor, okay, younger people, tend to have better success, okay, and then again, people who have had prior pregnancies, they tend, so there are factors that affect the success rate of IVF, but generally, the success rate is 30 to 40%. But of course, a few people may need to do a second time or even a third time to get successful. But there have been so many people who got pregnant successfully at the first attempt. So you just have to try your luck to know what it will be. It's something that you also, when you do it, you also pray, and then you are familiar with your factors, and then you will even know as the process continues, you will even be able to prognosticate yourself whether you are expecting a good result or not. Because from as you're going, you will know as you progress, you will know how good you are. Okay, so success rate is around 30-40% all over. But of course, the 30-40%, 30 to 40% is average. You may do a cycle. I've been involved in a cycle before where we recruited 6 people for IVF, and 5 of them got pregnant. So that would be far above. That would be far above the 30 to 40% that is average. Okay, so that's what you find in IVF. Somebody is asking whether IVF is a risky procedure. That's a serious question. Most things that we do in life actually involve some level of risk. There's hardly anything in life. You go to the airport, you book for a flight, and then you are in the ticket. You didn't ask about who is the pilot of the plane. You did not ask them when last that plane was serviced. You do not know how much fuel they have. You don't ask all these questions. You just pay for your flight, and then you enter flight and you go. So sometimes you didn't even consider that there are risks in taking a flight. The same thing with boarding a vehicle. You just go to a park and then you say, where is the vehicle going to so and so place? And then they show you, you pay for ticket and you enter. You didn't ask about who is the driver. You didn't look at their tires. You don't know when last they changed the oil. You don't know when last the vehicle was serviced. The same thing. Yes, there is some level of risk, okay, for IVF. Okay, so the major risk is actually that of what we call ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome. Okay, but assessing your own level of risk is part of the procedure. So when you present at your investigation and evaluation, we assess your level of risk, and there are things we do to avoid these complications. So the major one will be ovarian hyperstimulation syndrome, which is very rare, but they do happen. A situation whereby a woman over responds to the drugs, okay, even after you have harvested a lot of eggs. They keep on producing certain eggs and certain secretions that will affect their health. Okay, they will now be treated for that condition. So that's one of the complications of IVF. The other ones will be things that are much more easily prevented, like infection and all that, the procedure. Because of course it's an aesthetic procedure. So the environment and the instruments and materials being used are sterilized, okay, and all those areas are maintained. So infection, getting infected, because there will be a lot of instrumentations, so you get infected from those instrumentations. But of course, they are prevented because of the high level of supervision and care with which the process is carried out. So those are some of the complications. Of course, there's also a small complication of maybe injury to contiguous organs during harvest of the egg. But of course, the fact that the procedure is done by experts who know what they are looking at, and it is ultrasound directed, so they are all avoided. So for everything you do in life, there is side effects. Even paracetamol, if you go back and read side effects of paracetamol, you may not take the tablet. So, but all these things are documented that there are things that can possibly happen. Okay, so of course, that is how it is. Then, someone is saying, is there limits of trials? No, there are no limits of trials. But of course, for each of the trials, you will have to be evaluated and be seen to be fit. For instance, if you've done IVF before, it doesn't mean that if you want to do it again, they just throw you into the place and start. So for each of the for each of the cycle, you will be evaluated, and your fitness and otherwise for the procedure is assessed, and make sure that you are okay and fit to embark on it before you are able to embark on it. So there are no limits. But one area that we must know is the area of the maximum number of embryos to be transferred. Okay, so it's one area that is currently being regulated by, especially countries like Europe and America. They have regulatory authority for assisted reproduction. So they want to make sure that we don't transfer more than two embryos at a time. Okay, some people still do up to three, but the general consensus and the best practice is that we do not transfer more than two at a time. So that's where limits occur in terms of IVF. But if you can afford it, I know someone who did 4 times to have 4 children. Okay, so you can do as many times as you can afford, and to be able to satisfy your need for children. If you still want more children and you have the resources to embark on it, why not? Okay, so there's another question here. Say that I hear IVF results in multiple, is it centers? In multiple centers. In multiple babies. Okay, I hear IVF results in multiple babies. Results in multiple babies, as many as 7 in some cases. Why is this? Okay, that's what I'm trying to talk about. Multipetal pregnancy is a problem worldwide. It associated with a lot of complications that can even be life-threatening for the woman. That is why the regulatory authorities are making sure that you don't transfer more than one at a time. If you have multipetal pregnancy, number one, of course, is that you may not even be able to carry the pregnancy to term. They may all end in miscarriage, and then the result is 0. So that is one problem. The other problem is that it can result in metabolic problem and a lot of problem in your system, physiologically, that will even affect your own health. So it alters your physiology and causes some problem that may even be life-threatening to you. So you don't want to transfer more than 2 embryos. But of course, you know that if you transfer 2 embryos and then one of the embryos go on to divide to form more babies, That one you will not is not something you can control. What we can control is the number of embryos we can transfer. Okay, and that number, as to the best of my ability, is around 2. So we don't transfer more than 2 at a time, so that we avoid multiple pregnancy. The reason we transfer 2 is that those 2 will be unidentical twins. Okay, so one of the 2 embryos can still go on further to divide into 2 during the process of development and result in an additional baby. So you want to transfer 2 so that you are sure you are safe, even if one goes on to result in identical pregnancy, you will now be having 3. So you are not having higher order pregnancies that can result in a lot of physiological problems, for the woman. So no place in the world where you will be allowed, to have as much as 7 babies. If you are found to have up to 7, I'm sure we do what we call fetal reduction. That's another thing that you don't want to go through, whereby some of the pregnancies, some of the babies are selectively terminated, selectively destroyed, so that the others can go on. That is something that we want to avoid if it is in our power, and that is this effort to limit the number of embryos that are being transferred. Another question is, how long will it take? Will it take one to get pregnant once I start IVF treatment? Okay, so the IVF, we have different protocols. It's part of what I was talking about, that 2 people may come and have different programs. So we try to individualize this stuff. It's when you come and you are evaluated, your age and your factors are looked into, we will now be able to determine which of the protocols to use for you. At least, basically, there are several protocols, but the one that you must know, we have a long protocol and a short protocol, and we have an additional protocol we call antagonist protocol. So it's when you come and we evaluate you that we'll be able to know which of the protocol is suitable for you. But generally, the IVF process will take maybe 3 to 4 weeks to complete. 3 to 4 weeks from beginning to complete. If we complete it in those 3 to 4 weeks, so the last week, whether it's the 3rd or the 4th, as the case may be, is the week that we are transferring the embryo. Okay, so 2 weeks after that is the time to know when you are pregnant. Okay, so IVF procedure will take you average 3 to 4 weeks to complete it from start to finish. That's once we have commenced, 3 to 4 weeks. Now, the testing for doing a pregnancy test will be 2 weeks after the embryo transfer. So, so within 6 weeks of the commencement of the program, you'll be able to know whether you are successful or not in pregnancy testing. Okay, phone numbers. Okay, so very well. So I think that we've been able to deal with all the questions that we received. So it's important for you to know that Princess Medi Clinic is well positioned to serve you in the area of assisted reproduction, and we have all the equipment and staff, personnel to run this program, and we have already taken off. So we are waiting for you, to come over so we can start. You can visit us. Our address. Yes, our address is the Signature branch of Princess Medi Clinic at number 5 Bros Street, okay, Transamadi. So we are waiting for you. Our phone numbers and address will be on display on our Facebook page. So you can go there and access and then reach us for your own service. we're waiting for you and hope to see you soon. Thank you very much.